Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirklees Guitar School. So today we're going to have a look at a crazy little thing called Love. This was requested by somebody in our YouTube audience. So this has got a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of lead, and it's got that really cool 8-bar solo. We're going to break it all down in this lesson today. So make sure you use the chapters feature and you get out of this lesson what you want. So a full PDF of this is available for free from the Facebook group. If you head to the first link in the description, join our private Facebook group, navigate to the Files tab, and every tab for every lesson I've ever done on this channel, you can download there for free. Don't want anything from you. If Facebook's not your thing, the second link in the description, you can join our email list and you'll get a weekly email of all the lessons that I've taught that week with all the PDFs attached to it that you can download directly from your inbox. So, there's a lot of chords in this one, and this is going to be provided on the PDF, so do make sure that you download that. Now, all I want to do initially is let's just focus on the top row of chords. There's a lot of open chords in this, and then there's a section with that. You see the bottom line in the middle, you've got E, F sharp and G bar chords, which we'll get to. B flat tends to be the sticking point in this one. I'll show you a couple of different ways to play that if that is your thing. So let's get straight into it. This is the bit for crazy little thing called Love that everybody wants to learn how to play. So let's break that down first. Now we're going to use these two chords, a D and a D sus4. So the way I want you to play this and the way I want you to think about it is the D is the regular chord, and the suspension, we're going to take our pinky and we're going to put it on the 4th fret. Now if I go back to that slide, can you see how I'm going to play a D? And then for that D sus4 in the 3rd note of this bar, I'm just going to take my pinky and I'm going to put it on the 3rd fret. And it gives you a sort of light and airy sound. Really nice sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the D chord first, and I'm just going to do a down and an up stroke with my plectrum. I'm then going to keep all 3 fingers on mind, but then I'm going to take this dude and plonk it down on the 3rd fret of the high E string and do another down stroke. So I've got 3 strokes into the bar so far. And all I'm doing is adding that pinky. Get that under your fingers first. 4th note of the bar, I'm then going to do an upstroke, but I'm taking the pinky off. Down, up. First 4 notes of the bar. And then to round the bar off over here, I've got 3 quavers all together with up, down, up. So can you see how this note here, where we go back to the D, and the next one with 2 upstrokes in a row? That's the sticking point in this. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Now I'm playing that super duper straight at the minute. This is a swung rhythm. You're meant to sort of have a little bit of a spring in your step and it sounds more like it. Can you see how I'm putting those 2 upstrokes in a row? Watch this hand. I'm over exaggerating that motion, but can you see how I'm doing what I call a fake strum? The more time you spend here, the easier the rest of this will become. And for the intro at the top of the PDF, it's just 4 bars of that. And we should be playing that really like loosey-goosey, yeah? Little bit swung, you know, not it wants to be. The strumming hasn't changed, it's just a little bit looser, and that's something that comes with practice. You will get there, okay? Following that, Freddie starts singing, and we're into his verse. Now his verse stays the same throughout the entire song, so I'm only going to go through it once for you guys, but it does come up. I think there's 3 verses on the PDF. Now you have 2 options here. You can either keep going with the D sus figure throughout all of the D chords in the verse, if you want to do. Brian May actually does both on the record. Or what I opt to do for just a little bit of when I'm playing this in bands, just a little bit of extra colour. I've just got sort of a bog standard down, down, up, down strumming pattern, which I'll play on D for 2 bars, on G. Then in this song you're going to come across quite a few bars where 2 chords share a bar. All I want you to do where 2 chords share a bar is just do 2 downstrokes on each chord. Let me show you what I mean with these first 4 lines. See what I did there? I got to that C. So that's this thing called love, and I can't handle it, this thing. And it just does the same again. Da-da. G, C, G. That's the first part of the verse. Pause that and get that under your fingers. If we're okay with that, we then go into the final 4 bars of the verse and see how we hit a repeat marker, which takes us back up. The verse 1 and verse 2 are repeated. D, with 2 chords that share a bar again, so we're going to go B flat, C, D, and see, I'm going to come back to this B flat in a second, sit tight. This D over here, you're going to play the D down, down, up, like we normally do. And then that D by itself, we hit the first beat of the bar and stop. If we just sort of go back for a second, can you see, I think it's worth reiterating, somebody in the Facebook group had a really good point about this. The strumming pattern is, in my charts, is always in the first beat of the bar, first bar of the section, and then these 4 dashes just mean it's the status quo. You're just keeping up that rhythm, but rather than me putting loads of information on that page and making it really hard to sight read, when I come across these, it's just telling me that I've got to repeat that strumming pattern throughout. The only time we break out of that is where you've got that C and that G, where we're doing 2 downstrokes. Coming back to that latter part of the verse, you've got a D. Now I'm playing B flat like this, where I'm barring the top and the bottom of the chord. If we just go back to that, I'm looking at bottom left. Now, it's what we call an A-shaped bar chord, so you can play it like that, or what you can do if you're struggling, you can do it as like a 3-string chord, so you've got high E string on the 1st fret with the index finger, take the ring finger, put it on the 3rd fret of the G, and then take the pinky and put it on the 3rd fret of the B. And it just gives you a little triad there to get through it. And you can hear the resolution of the song, can't you? So you've got D, B flat, C, D, 2, 3, 4, B. We then hit a repeat marker and it goes back to this section here. So it's the verse is a 12-bar phrase that's repeated. Pause the video and get that under your fingers if you need to, if you're feeling brave. Let's carry on. So we're going into what I call the midsection, and that's the there goes my baby, she knows how to rock and roll. It's just the same. Goes to B flat for a bar. And then we get to these stabs here, which is E, A, F. Just as we did with the D in the previous bit. Now, you can, if you want, you can play F major 7 if that's your thing. Or you can play a regular F bar chord. If you can do the shape, I'd much rather you do this one. But the chord police aren't going to come and get you if you put the F major 7 in. But can you see how it does that? E, E, A, F. And that's where what's he called? Roger Taylor, drummer for Queen. You can hear him tapping his sticks on the rim of one of the toms. It's that bit there. Let me just go through that again. G, G, C, G, G, B flat, E, A, F. And as soon as you play that F, kill it. Then you've got the clicking on the sticks, and I've just put some tabs in here because we've got the Now, I'm mixing a couple of guitar parts here. My approach with all of my lessons on here is if I was the only guitarist on the gig, whereas, because I am a gigging guitarist, I go out and play, there very seldom is two guitarists on the gig, so I've got to try and cover as much of the cool bits from the original record as possible, and this is what I've done here. So we've just done that in the previous bar. We've done those stabs, E, A, F. I'm then immediately going to the next bar, and on the A string with the ring finger, I'm going to go 5, 4, 3, and then going to move it up a string to the low E string and do the same again. So you see here I've got. I'm then going to go to an E chord. Now you can go to this one down here, or you can go to the bar chord up here, which is listed on this slide, top left. And I'm going, where are we? There we go. Now this is crotchet triplets. We're essentially trying to fit a group of 6 into that bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm doing that quite staccato. Did you see that? I bet I couldn't do that again. I dropped my pick. We just grab that. Yeah. Right, so da 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 da, and then I've copied the bass run, which is just walking down the D major scale. 7th fret, doing 2 notes of that. 7th fret of the D, 5th fret, two strokes of that. 4th fret, and then I'm going to catch that E on the 7th fret of the, just the once on the 7th fret of the A string. Da, 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 da. Now your ear is going to want you to go to this note here. The next slide actually starts with a D chord because it goes back to the verse. Sorry, the next section in this song, not the next slide, goes to that section in the verse, so it'll feel resolved. It's just a bit of a distance getting there. So you've got E, A, F, and then we've got da da da, da da da, E, 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 E. Make sure you get the PDF, guys, it's really going to help you with this. There's a lot of teeny tiny little fiddly bits. Right, so now we get to the solo. Now make sure, I'm going to break down the solo after I've done all the rhythm parts, so use the chapters feature if you need to get this under your fingers and get what you need out of the lesson. Now I've put the chords for the solo because I know that, especially in the Facebook group, those of you that are posting you playing the lessons, sometimes the solo seems like a little bit too much of a commitment right now, and it's something that you'll come back to later. I'm giving you the chords to have a mess around over, and it should be a nice little platform for those of you that are looping. In fact, I'm going to load this on the looper in a minute when I do the lead bits to show you what it sounds like all together. So we're still sticking with the down, down, up, up, down strumming pattern, and we're going to do 2 bars of B flat, 2 bars of D, 2 bars of B flat again. Then we've got that that stab from the back of the 2 A's, 2 E's, 2 F's from the back of the midsection. So that's B flat, D, B flat, E, A, F. Back into. But then this bit changes here, doesn't it? And what we're going to do is we're going to use these chords from this slide. Can you see? We've got E, F sharp, G, and then an A. Now that's the E-shaped bar chord just moved up the frets. So you've got this sort of. I'm just going to quickly skip to the next slide. Ignore this down here. It's just I'm trying to get. I've too many slides and not enough scenes on OBS. So we've got E. Move it up 2 frets to F sharp. Move it up 1 fret to G. Move it up 1 fret to A. Dun 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 dun. And you see how it's going to go? It's going to play 4 E's, 1 F sharp, 1 G, and 1 A. Show you there. So it still has the group of 6, but we're just moving from 7th fret. We're playing the 7th fret for four notes. Moving it up to fret 9, doing it for 1 note. Moving up to fret 10, doing it for 1 note, and that completes that whole bar. And then we go up to that A. Dun 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 dun. You can do all downstrokes, you can do some upstrokes, it doesn't really matter, it's the choppy nature you want to get. Then following that we've got the break. Now the break is just where the hand claps on beat 2 and beat 4. It's quite, would you say it was an a cappella style section? Nothing really of note here, just give yourself a pat on the back for getting so far, have a little rest. And then the last bit I want to talk about is the ending. Now the ending, it's basically the crazy little thing called love. Crazy little thing called love. And it comes off the back of is it a verse or a chorus? It's one of the two. Get the PDF, it'll show you. But it's essentially what we call a refrain, which means we're just going to repeat the last 2 bars of the previous section over and over again, and we're going to loop it until it fades out. So make sure you get the PDF for this. Right, so I've loaded the chords from the previous part of the solo that I spoke about. I've just punched it into the looper exactly how I told you to do it. Now I'm really struggling to change the slides while I'm playing it, so I'm just going to play it as a close-up first and then we'll break it down with the tabs. That's the first part. And that's the second part. It's a really fun little solo. But let's have a go together. So we start by sliding in here. And we're going to slide into those 10s a couple of times. And you'll hear me stamp on the looper. That's because there's a couple of notes that come in on the solo before the rest of the band does. And then it does the, which we've already spoken about. So I'm going to slide into the 10th fret. Now I'm going to go from the 9, but it doesn't really matter where, as long as it's doing a big glissando into that, it doesn't matter. We're going to slide into that 10th fret of the B and the high E. I'm barring with the index finger, and I'm going to pick it 4 times. Now I'm actually going down, up, down. You can do downstrokes if you want, but I'm fairly confident Brian will be doing it properly. Ring finger over to the 13th fret of the B string, and I'm going to bend it 3 times. But on the 3rd time, can you see how I'm bringing it back down? I then pull off to the 11. Practice that for me. I'm using 2 fingers to bend up. I'm then going to go back to the 13, no bending this time. And then resolve to the 11, and you see the little wobble above it? That's vibrato. Sorry. And then I'm going to finish it by bending that 13 one last time. And I'm catching the 13th fret with the pinky underneath it. And after I played those 2 notes, can you see there's a rest all the way at the end of the bar? That funny squiggly line is a quaver rest. After you played those notes, mute the guitar. Pause the video. Let's have a go at this bit. Sorry, my pedal board is making all kinds of racket today. And then you're going to do that again, but you're going to slide from 9 this time into 10, but you're only going to play it 3 times. And then I'm going to take my ring finger and I'm going to bar the 12th fret of the G and the B and do a little diad there. I'm then going to hammer from 10 with the index finger on G to the 11 with the middle finger. And I'm going to do that twice. That's a really good place here to sort of draw an imaginary bar line and just sort of get the first bit. If If you do catch that B string underneath it when you're going for that, it's not the end of the world. And then I'm going to finish that phrase off by going to the B string. I'm going 10, 12, and then high E, 10, 10. Now that 13th fret is part of the next phrase. We'll address that in a second, but let's just have, I'm going to play everything on this slide apart from the very last note. A couple of jazz notes there. That 13th fret is part of the next phrase, but just before we do that, I'd quite like you. Those are the first two slides together. Now would be a really good time to pause and have a go at getting that under your fingers and gluing those two together. Moving into the third of the 4 bars. I've already bent that 13 with the ring finger. I've then got the pinky underneath like we've done before. I'm doing that motion 3 times, bending the B, catching the 13 underneath it. And then I've got 13 with no bends, and then an 11 on the B. I'm going to turn my tube screamer off to see if my amp would start behaving, but it's not the tube screamer, it's the amp. Right, first bar in this slide. And then we've got one more over here. So there's a lot of this kind of, there's a lot of that sort of country kind of pedal steel licks going on. And just as before, this 10th fret here is part of the next bit. Pause the video if you need to. So we're going to slide from the 10th fret into the 12th, but what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to use your ring finger there. And after you've slid into that 12th fret, you're going to pick it a second time with an upstroke. 10, 12. Da 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 da. I'm then going to break out of position and I'm going to move down a fret to the 9th fret with the index finger, and I'm going to create a little ladder walking up the strings where I'm going to go 9, 10, 11, which I'm creating a little arpeggio there. And after you've hit that 11th fret, with your index finger, catch that 9 on the same string and it'll round it off. Practice that first bar for me. Pause the video if you need to. And then to finish, we've just got this nice tasty little blues lick. So you've got 10th fret on the B string twice. I'm going to bend the 12. You see the line comes up but then comes back down, so we're going to bend it up, bring it back down. 10th fret, 12th fret, 10th fret. I am guilty of pulling off that. I think it sounds better, but to my ear, that's not what he's doing on the record. That's what both of those slides look like. So first part, second part. Tones. Brian May obviously famously used the Red Special, which is a really big part of his sound. He's known for using tellies as well, so that's why I got the telly out. And this is a reasonably close kind of sound I think I've got, which is just, I've got the treble on 7, bass on 4, reverb on 3. I'm using the combination of the middle pickups. I'm using the middle position of the switch with both pickups together. Sort of that out of phase kind of sound. And then I've just got a tube screamer with the overdrive set to 12 o'clock to sort of give me a bit. It's not really distorted. I mean, I can make it growl. I can make it growl if I want to, but that's not the point. It's more, I'm trying to simulate his AC30s, which he was known to use, Vox AC30s. I would simulate winding those up. So I hope you found that helpful. Let me know in the comments what you'd like us to cover next. These guitar lessons where we sort of do a little bit of the rhythm and a little bit of the lead, so you've got all the cool bits condensed, is really working for a lot of you, and I'm really pleased that you're all getting so much out of it. So I will see you next week for another electric guitar lesson. Thank you so much.